answer to either one of those is that you could use more than you actually have, you've come to the right place today. And after Jane's life was impacted with less than ideal health conditions, Jane researched and still researches brain-based best practices to bounce back and bring herself into her very best self, her brilliant self, which includes joyful connections. So would you help me and welcome Jane to the front of the room as she shares with us realistic and doable tools to build your brilliance. Thanks so much.
Hello. My name is Jane. I'm a recovering sweeper. You might be thinking I like to clean, but the truth is it's the term that I give for trying to find the fatal flaws in everything in life. It's natural for our brains to try to protect us. And some of you might suffer from the same thing every once in a while. In fact, you have to, because it is a brain function to look for what might be out there that could get us and could sabotage us. It's called protection, and it is a lower level brain functioning, but some of us get stuck there. And so we approach every single aspect of our lives as if it's a problem to be solved. It's, that was good pizza, but I thought I had too many pepperonis. Or, they had quite a variety, but it wasn't the vodka that I wanted, so I don't know if I'll go back. Everything is a problem. Now, that's only one part of our brain functioning. The other part that it's hardwired to do is connect. And that's where joy lives. We are hardwired to connect with each other. You know how we do that and how we do that best? It's through eye contact. And this is my very favorite part of the speech because everybody is just looking at me intently with their eyes. Because right behind your left side of your brain, right behind your eye, is the center for identity and the center for connection. It's why babies are so darn cute. Because we're drawn to those cute little chubby cheeks and those faces, and we lean in. What is it you do when you see a little baby? Or even a toddler? You go, oh my gosh, look at that little buddy. Isn't he so cute? He's smiling at me. And we're made that way so they can start forming a strong identity of who they are. And so that they can keep connecting with each of us. And so that they can have joy. Who doesn't love the smile and the laugh of a little baby? Yep. And that's what we're all designed to be like. But somewhere along the line, we get stuck in protection. We get stuck in looking at it as if everything, as I said, is a problem to be solved. So when we get stuck, how do we get ourselves out of that? How do we bounce back? You might go, well, you just say, I want to. It's not quite that easy. There's a lot of things that we need to do. And the reason that I researched it is because, like I said, I was stuck there. And I was stuck so long looking for everything of the fatal flaws. Oh, by the way, some of you might disguise that as saying you're a realist. But have you ever noticed every realism is pretty negative? Yeah. So we want to move past that and become more optimistic. And we want to connect with each other. And I was stuck so far into that spot that my body actually started fighting against itself. And I developed an autoimmune disease. I was swelling up all over. And it was really interesting because when I was working with a partner and we'd be in front of the room teaching a class, if the partner and I got along, I was just fine. If the co-presenter and I didn't quite see eye to eye, my hands would swell up like balloons. My body didn't like it. It got so bad that I could only sleep about 20 minutes in the night, and then I'd have to get up and walk around and do something for the pain. So went to the doctor, got on all kinds of meds. And you know what I quickly found out with all those meds? They kind of helped. They had a million side effects that I don't like either. So when I was sitting with my mother on her hospice bed and I looked at this 90-year-old woman and I went, now there's a life well lived. I thought, I doing? In fact, it was really one of those God moments, you know, when you get that voice that talks to you and you go, that wasn't me. Somebody's calling me to do something different. So I resolved to do that. And after my mother passed away, I started doing a ton of research. And I found thing after thing after thing of ways to help build my positiveness, ways to move out of that protective, negative mode. And many of the things had to do with connecting with other people, or connecting with myself, or connecting with my physical self. And it was so good, I started weaning myself off all the medication. And I thought, I have to tell my audiences this. But every good speaker, those of you who speak, I think there's a couple of you in the room, know that audiences need a metaphor. My family's in the building industry. I came up with a house. I might as well build something too. We put all the things in the house and they fit. Every room seemed to have another way to help you take care of yourself and to move into brilliance and to move into connection, which brings us to joy. So let's talk about the ways that we can use to build our brilliance. The very first, the foundation. Every structure needs a very strong foundation. And the foundation is knowing who you are at your best. Knowing what your gifts and talents are, what your behavior characteristics are. In fact, I'd encourage all of you to take out your phone wherever you take notes, or take out a piece of paper and open up your notes app and title it, Me at My Best. Me at my best. And then I want you to come up with at least 3 things that describe you at your best. We all know how we feel when we're at our best. Write those things down, right? And here's how this works. So a couple weeks ago, I was driving up to our cabin, and I had a pre-call for a client call that afternoon. And I got triggered on the pre-call. You know, when you're talking to someone and they say something and you go, protection mode. Like, that was bad. We can't have this happen. I was really upset. Hung up the phone. I called my husband. Do you know what he said? Blah, 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 blah. I said, what do you think I should do? And I was really hoping he'd give me some really good ammunition, because I don't think you should do anything. Okay, well, that was really helpful. I hung up the phone, and I thought, who am I at my best? Well, that's right. I'm kind. I'm compassionate. I'm curious. I'm energetic, and I'm passionate. I was none of those things on that call. Guess how the afternoon call went with the client? Because I remembered, I'm kind, I'm curious, I'm compassionate, I'm energetic. It went great. So the next time you find yourself triggered, that you find yourself in protection mode, pull out your app and take a look and think about, who am I at my best? Right? So knowing yourself is really important. The big center block is for your spiritual foundation. We need to have a spiritual connection with a higher being than just us. And in fact, research tells us that people who are in a spiritual growth community actually live longer. Oh, guess what? That's connected back to connections, right? Connections bring us joy. The first level above the foundation is all about our physical health. Are you getting enough sleep? 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. Are you eating healthy? Are you exercising? We know that if any of these are off kilter, it's hard for us to find joy. It's hard for us to stay connected. This level is extremely important. The second level is all about mind health. Just as important of what you feed your body is what you feed your mind. What TikTok videos are you watching? What are you streaming? Is it good for you? And maybe you're streaming and you're connecting with family members. That's cool, right? But be careful. The happy, healthy hobby room is so important too, because it spurs our creativity. It's usually a source of great joy for all of us. How many of you have collections of some sort? Yeah, those collections bring us back to happy memories. One of my collections are my salt and pepper shakers. And the reason I started that is because my husband's grandmother, who he just adored, had salt and pepper shaker collection. And when she passed away, they got rid of them all. They just sold them on a garage sale. I'm like, what? You didn't save any of them? Yeah, gone now. So I thought, okay, we're gonna start our own salt and pepper, it's a tongue twister, salt and pepper shaker collection. And now my kids give them to me when they go on vacations. And even though I wasn't on the vacation, it brings me great joy to think about it and look at the funny little characters that they are. So think about that. The other piece that I want to talk about in terms of joy is this, the porch. Relationships. As I said, they are key. We need each other for joy. We know that loneliness is just as detrimental to our health as smoking. We need to be in networking contacts. We need to work with people and have identity groups that reinforce who we are. It is so key. In fact, when I first started the house and I was writing curriculum, I had a woman come up to me and say, you know what, you can't control other people, so I think you need to take the porch off. Has nothing to do with building your brilliance. Like, okay, I'll think about that. Thank you for the feedback. I went back and I researched a ton. Dr. Daniel Siegel has coined the term MWE, capital M, capital W, small e, because it's so important. Who we interact with changes our brain. So think about that. Think about who your friends are. Think about who your identity groups. Think about who you lead and who you work with. And are you helping them be their best? One of the ways to do that is an acronym called CAKE. CAKE, and this comes from Dr. Jim Warner and Dr. Marcus Wilder. And what they do is talk about 4 things that we can do when we're interacting with people to help make sure we stay into connection. Serve them cake. C, be curious. Instead of walking in and being all judgmental, ask them curious questions. A, appreciative. We know that gratitude is huge when it comes to our mental health and our relationships. K, kindness. Be kind when you're talking either about topics. And E is I. We've already talked about the importance of eye contact. Yeah, it's so important. So back to the appreciation one. Gratitude is so big. It's kind of all the rage right now, and the research there is extraordinary. In terms of even people who are going to counseling, they found if part of the counseling homework is one time during this week, I'd like you to write a thank you note. Take 5 minutes. Pick one person in your life who has made a positive impact on you and write them a thank you note. Be specific. Those people do better in therapy than the people who are told to write and vent about all the terrible things that have happened to them. So I'd like to also, on your app today, write down somebody that you're going to go home and write a thank you note to this week. And be specific. You know, we're going to go beyond my nephew's daughters who wrote us graduation thank yous. They all wrote thank you. I think it's great. Thank you for coming to my graduation party. Thank you for the gift of money. Right? Let's be a little bit more specific. In fairness, that's probably as specific as they could get. But I think there's other people in our lives that we have great appreciation for that we can thank. And then see how you fit. Thank you.